Hi, good morning, you guys. Yes, we are here right next to the Fire Tech building, part of the Fire Tech Academy at Miramar College. This is going to be a 9/11 Remembrance ceremony hosted by the students, hosted by the professors. And this one specifically is going to be geared toward honoring fallen firefighters who died after 9/11. As you see behind me, they're starting to set up. They've got the podium ready. They're taping down the cords that connect to the speaker there. But this is a ceremony that's going to be taking place in about a half hour. Dennis Sheehan is here. Dennis is a professor here with the Fire Academy. He's also a retired fire captain with National City Fire Department. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Liz. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I know part of the ceremony involves not only the students standing at attention, but it also involves the ringing of the bell, which we see behind you. Tell me about that and why that's so important. What's the history behind that?
There's a really pretty rich history. It's one of a fire department tradition that goes back to the 1800s, back when we were transmitting all of our signals with telegraph. We didn't have radios to do actual voice messages, so we had to send our information out in codes. For example, you might be in the station and have the bells ring in a certain sequence. 2 bells with a pause, 3 bells with a pause. That would indicate the assignment, what engines and trucks and squads were going to go out on the assignment. Well, the Fire Department of New York has had that bell system for a long time, or had it until we got into the modern era. And they came up with a code to alert everybody on the job if we lost somebody in the line of service. And their code is 5 bells with a pause, and another 5 bells, and they do that 4 times. So there's a sequence of 5 bells 4 times, and that would alert everyone on the department that we've lost somebody in the line of duty. And in fact, it was used in 1865 to announce to everybody on the organization that Abraham Lincoln had died. So it goes back a long ways.
There's a lot of history. That is, the ringing of the bell is something that we are going to see at 9 o'clock when the ceremony takes place. It's something that you are really educating the students who are here that are part of the Fire Academy, which leads me to ask, why did you all decide to host a 9/11 Remembrance ceremony? Why was that important?
Well, it's important because it's a very significant event, obviously, in the history of the fire service in the United States. We inaugurated this place. This is a brand new facility. Well, to me, it's brand new, where you're standing right now. It's the newest facility on campus, and it was dedicated on September 11th of 2014. And we had a big show here with a lot of people attending because it was a very significant event for this campus. So we continued that tradition every year by having a 9/11 ceremony out here. It's become our custom at Miramar College for the fire protection and EMT group.
And a lot of the students, as I'm learning, are very young, so they were probably children, if not babies, when 9/11 happened.
That's true, and we decided this year that we'd make sure that we had 2 objectives for doing this ceremony. The primary one is to honor our fallen brothers in New York. And secondarily, and very important to us, is the fact that a lot of our students are maybe 20 years old, which would have made them 3 or 4 years old when this happened, and they have no memory of it. And this is a really big deal to the fire service in the United States, and we don't want to forget it. And as I was telling you earlier, we have firefighters in the United States running around with tattoos on them that says 9/11, never forget. So we have some folks that have no living memory of it, and we need to make sure that we pass this history on to them, because even our brand new firefighters back in 2001 are more than halfway through their career now. So, we're fading fast, and we need to make sure that the youngsters understand what has come before them and how important this is to our culture and the way we do business in the United States.
Thank you for explaining that, Mr. Sheehan. I think it's going to be a very special ceremony for a number of reasons. And one of the firefighters who was at Ground Zero at the time, 17 years ago, we introduced you to him last hour. He's over here. Come on over here. He's retired San Diego Fire Captain Ron Edrozo. You are here because you are an instructor here now, although you're retired. I can only imagine what you must be thinking and feeling today. Just tell me what's today like for you emotionally?
Well, it's Remembrance, just letting these kids know, what these other firefighters and what these police officers and what the military is doing right now to continue this.
Physically, how are you feeling today? I know that there'd been a lot of issues with the firefighters there at Ground Zero, having all sorts of respiratory illnesses that have come to light as a result of the toxins there at Ground Zero. How do you feel?
I feel good, and our team took the time to get us some respirators so that we wore them continuously during the evolutions there.
When you talk and you see the students who we will see at 9 o'clock, some of them very young, for them to come to know that you were part of the California Urban Search and Rescue Team that went there to Ground Zero after the 9/11 attacks, what kind of questions do you have, or do you get from them? What kind of a reaction do you get from these young prospective firefighters?
They always ask, what did it look like? And it's hard to explain to them what it looked like. I usually try to tell them like the Grand Canyon made out of metal, but letting them know the feelings that we had when we got there, the expectations we had, and then, going from a rescue operation to a recovery operation was, we let them know, hey, you got to be able to change, to go with the flow.
And lastly, over the years, if I may ask, how have you been able to deal? I mean, this is your line of work, so you respond to tragedies and these types of events. Okay. But with this specific, with 9/11, how were you able to kind of work through it and deal with that? What helped you?
We had a good team, and usually firefighters will talk to each other because we've experienced the same thing, so everybody is on the same page talking about it. And there's a lot of things you remember, but you learn to deal with it. As a firefighter, you deal with that stuff. And so we do have counseling, and they did give us counseling when we came back, so that helped a lot.
Thank you for sharing that with us. And I know that he also gets together, he was telling me, with his fellow firefighters who went to Ground Zero today. Every year on 9/11, retired Captain Ron meets with those fellow firefighters who were deployed at Ground Zero, and they meet and they have some burgers, and they kind of revisit with each other. So that's all part of the how you get over, or how you deal with that unimaginable trauma, you guys.
Yeah, it is unimaginable. We can only imagine what it would be like, but we thank them for their service. Appreciate them being there this morning. Thanks, Liz.
Thank you, Liz.